Hi everyone, my name is Fatima. I am a certified dermatologist and a makeup and skincare enthusiast. In today's video, I want to talk to you about some of my sunscreens, my favorite sunscreens that I've discovered in the past for my dry, sensitive, and mature skin. If that interests you, please keep on watching. As someone with sensitive dry skin, as I told you in the intro, I have been struggling with finding a good sunscreen that doesn't burn my skin. Most of the chemical sunscreens do burn my skin, and those are the ones that we have here in the US as chemical or organic sunscreens. Unfortunately, there are one or two ingredients in those sunscreens, and I'm talking about the ones that are broad spectrum that burn my skin. The ones that I use that are chemical sunscreens are the ones that I get from the Asian markets. So those are the ones that I buy from Yes Style, Stellana, and sometimes Amazon has some of them. The ones that I'm mentioning today, I have found them on Amazon, but if you buy them from sites like Yes Style, you will get a better pricing. And from the sunscreens that I use in the US, the ones that I can get from the US market, I only have mineral sunscreens or physical sunscreens. So for the ones that I usually use alone or when my skin needs a moisturizer, I'm gonna mention these two. I'll start with this one. This is the Round Lab sunscreen. When I put it on, I feel like this is more like a moisturizer to me, but at the same time, it has broad spectrum SPF. I layer my sunscreen so I don't use just one, and with this one I can use it as a first layer on my face, or sometimes I use it as a moisturizer and then I put on some other sunscreens that have some color in them as my foundation, which I will talk about those as well. I don't have any makeup on. As you can tell, it has a very watery texture. I'm not gonna put it very close to my eyes because I have some mascara on, but as you can tell, this sunscreen has a very healthy looking finish, and this hasn't dried down yet, but after it dries down, it seems like I only put on some moisturizer. And I usually have problem around my nose area, and my eyelids are very sensitive. I get a lot of eyelid eczema during the winter, and when I put this on, it causes no issues for me. The only thing is that this sunscreen, or at least I feel like it doesn't stay on my skin for too long, so I have to layer sunscreens with this one, but that might be just my feeling. And as you know, you have to apply your sunscreen every 2 hours. The next sunscreen is this one that I want to talk about. This is the Madagascar Centella Hylo Sika Water Fit Sunscreen Serum, and this is also SPF 50 PA 4 pluses, so broad spectrum. And I also really like the sunscreen as a moisturizer. Very close in texture to the Round Lab sunscreen. If you don't want to have a very like high maintenance skincare routine and you can get away with only these are really good sunscreens as moisturizers. The next one that I want to talk about is this one. This is the Haro Haro Wonder Black Rice Moisture Airy Fit Daily Sunscreens. I've gone through, I think, 4 tubes of these so far, and I just discovered it. This one is also SPF 50 PA4 pluses, so broad spectrum. It has a very airy finish. It is not as moisturizing as the other one. Yeah, you can see it. That other one, the two first ones, it's the Centella one and the Round Lab one. As I put it on, it was very shiny. But this one is a natural finish from the beginning, and I feel like this one stays on better than the other ones for that reason. And that might be just because I touch my face a lot, but I feel like this has a better staying power. I'm gonna put it on my forehead so that you can see. Also, this one, no white cast, and very natural finish. It's not as glowy as it shows in the camera. So for my mineral sunscreen recommendations, I have two suggestions that are from the Asian market. And I'm assuming with everything going on, these are still gonna be available for a sale in US because these don't have any chemical filters in them. They only have a mineral or physical filters in them. And I can talk more about the difference between the two and what chemicals they use, but you just need to know that physical ones, they are either zinc oxide, titanium dioxide, or both. And this is my first recommendation from the Asian market. This is the mineral version of this one. This is yellow. This is lilac, purple, whatever you call it. And this is a bit thicker than the chemical version, but after you rub it in, it does not have much of a white cast, at least on my skin tone. I've used it in summer. It doesn't have a very harsh white cast. Let me use it on like my nose. But you have to rub this in. It's not like the other sunscreens that the chemical ones that you put it on and it's gone. And right now, you can see a halo of white cast on my nose, but it's not too bad. So I could get away with just wearing these under my makeup and do like a little bit of concealer or even just a bronzer and get out of the house. I really like this one, and I really like it for under makeup as well. So the texture is almost similar to this one. It's a bit thicker. There is another mineral sunscreen that I really liked from the Asian market, and that one was the Claire's with the green tube. I put a picture here, and I also will put a link to it in the description box. I just finished that one. That one I also really like. For that one, there is a more watery texture to it. And if I want to do a lot of makeup, so foundation, concealer, everything, I usually use that one because it has airier texture, and I also like it. It's lighter under my makeup. Now let's get into my mineral recommendations from the US market. My first recommendation is the one that I've used for a while now. Actually, I got this one as a free gift with my purchase uh, from Paolo's Choice website. This is the Paula's Choice Daily Moisturizing Lotion, broad spectrum, SPF 30 with antioxidants. And I've used up so many tubes of this one because I use this as moisturizer during winter time on top of my skincare routine. The reason I like this one is because it does not dry out my skin, and it's a very moisturizing feeling cream. I know there is a little bit of a white cast, but when you rub it in, it will go away, at least on my skin tone right now. It doesn't burn my skin, doesn't irritate my skin sometimes. Even the mineral sunscreens do irritate my skin because there are a lot of ingredients they use in them. But Paula's Choice, they are a fantastic brand if you want to try any of their sunscreens. I know that they have, and I've used that one, they have a tinted version of their sunscreen that everyone is obsessed about. I can put a picture somewhere here, but that one I can only use it in summer because in winter my skin is really dry, and that one shows my dry patches and dries out my skin. I think this one is a newer sunscreen in the market, or at least in the American US market. This is the Avene SPF 50 blue light broad spectrum mineral sunscreen, and it is water resistant up to 40 minutes. This is 12% zinc oxide. This one also has a very airy feel to it, and it is thicker than the one from Paula's Choice. But with this one, I'm not sure if you can see it in the camera. With this one, I feel it's a bit oilier, and with this one, I feel like it gives me a bit more of a white cast that I can get away with it alone. So I only use it like when I'm going for a walk, when I don't have to see people or talk to people face to face. I use this one, or I use it at home. It is SPF 50 and it is mineral, so it's a very great sunscreen, but it doesn't dry out your skin. It's really good under makeup. I've tried it. Those were the two mineral sunscreens that didn't have a tint, and I can use them, get away with using them in winter or like on regular days, and I don't look like a ghost. For my tinted sunscreens, I have tried them all. I have tried the CeraVe SPF 30. This is a good one. It's not too annoying. As you can see, it's not a bad sunscreen. It's a good sunscreen, but I cannot put enough of this on my skin, enough of the CeraVe one on my skin and feel comfortable. With this one, I always use one of the mineral or one of the chemical sunscreens and just put this on as my second layer or third layer. This one from Eucerin is also a very great sunscreen. My problem with this one is that even in summer, my skin tone is more like yellow olive skin tone. Even in summer, where my skin tone is darker, when I wear this one, you can tell that this doesn't look good on my skin. But I really like the texture. The last tinted sunscreen that I want to talk about, and I love this one. I love this one. It's really great on your skin, even though it's very orangey for my skin tone, which I'll tell you what I do for that one in a bit. But it really looks good. And I know that this is expensive, and I know that people talk about it and you think like, oh, it's because just it's expensive. That doesn't mean that it's good. That's what I thought. But then I got it from our office, and I really, really liked it. This is the Alastin skincare sunscreen. It's a broad spectrum SPF 36, so it's not SPF 50, but I only use this as a sunscreen topper. This one has a very orange tint to it, as you can tell. But this is a great sunscreen. It looks really good. It's very, it doesn't show up here, but on your skin, you feel like you haven't put on anything. It's very comfortable. Maybe the most comfortable tinted sunscreen. Yeah, not maybe. Definitely the most comfortable tinted sunscreen I've put on my skin. I know it's expensive, but it's great. And what I have realized I can do with this one is that I can use it in as a mixture with the non-tinted version. When you look at the ingredient list, they are the same. I can mix this one with the non-tinted version and get away with the tint. So that's what I'm gonna do. I used a sample version of it that I got from the office, and I mixed it, and I really thought that it looked good. So yeah, I feel like if I do that, I can reuse it and I can be happy with it because I really like the texture. You feel like you have nothing on your skin, and I feel like I'm really protected, even though it feels good on the skin and you feel like nothing is on your skin. At the same time, you feel like you're protected because the sunscreen is stuck on your face. I feel like that with a lot of mineral sunscreens. I feel like they stay on your face better than the other kinds. They are like stickier and everything. These were my list of sunscreens that I use, and I've used a lot. I've tried everything. I've tried the La Roche-Posay one. Can you believe this is like $40? This was like dry for my skin. I have tried the Cetaphil Mineral Sheer Mineral Face. This one is good, but it's not like there for me. I feel like with this one, the Cetaphil one, they were close, but they couldn't quite get the formula right. I feel like there are zinc particles in an oily base. I thought it would be a really great sunscreen for my skin, and I know that it spreads well, but sometimes it's finicky. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. So I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm gonna use the one that I have. I'm gonna use it up, and I have samples of these because I always try the sample before buying a new one from my dermatology, from our dermatology office. Just ask your dermatologist, tell them to give you some samples of their favorite sunscreens. You can use them and you can see if you like them or not. But unfortunately, these are only the ones that are sold in the US, and not every office has every kind of sunscreen. I have also used this one, the lip tinted one, and I wanted to try this one, try the mini size first, and then buy a fuller size because I have another one from them that I'll mention in a bit. Do you see this? At first, you feel like it's very moisturizing. It looks really good. There's an orange tint to it, but it doesn't show up on your face when you put it on. It's lovely at first, but it blends out. Either it blends out to nothing if you use like a little bit of sunscreen, or if you use too much, you'll see like streak lines all over your face and it feels misty, too oily. I know I have dry skin, but it feels a bit messy for me. I'm sorry. I love the other one that they have, but this one is not for me. I have to use it more often and see what my problem is, but this one is also finicky. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. So I'm not going to suggest that one absolutely, but if I change my mind, I'll let you know. Now I want to talk about my favorite way to apply more sunscreen and still look good. I have some suggestions for tinted sunscreens, or you can say tinted moisturizers with sunscreens in them. The two recommendations that I have from the US market, which you can, one of them you can find it on Sephora or their own website. The other one also is in Ulta and also on their website. I don't know if Sephora sells this one. This is the one that I told you that I like from the lip tinted. I have a darker one, darker color here. This is shade 9, I believe. Yes, I have shade 9 here, which is a bit too dark for my winter skin. I use this one. This one you cannot put on enough sunscreen and look good. So for this one, I use it as a tinted moisturizer, or I like foundation after I finish off uh, my skincare routine and I put on all the sunscreens that I want to put, and I'm done with everything. I use this as my foundation on an everyday basis when I go to work and everything. And you can see it covered my rosacea really good. It is very shiny, and I feel like this one could be this if it wasn't a little bit less lightweight. I feel like they wanted to make it lightweight and they didn't get the formula right. I don't know what happened there. I have to use it more often and just let you know. But this one looks really great, and you look like this all day. With this one, you can lose the coverage because it is very shiny, it is very moisturizing. It's possible that you lose the coverage that you have during the day, but I only use this as my foundation, and I put some other things on like my blush and everything, and I'm okay if it goes it loses some cover during the day because it will look natural. It doesn't look bad when you lose the coverage. The other one is this one, the Say. The Say one is a bit more moisturizing. I'm gonna apply it to this side of my face, and the shade for this one is better than the lip tinted for me during winter month. This one is a bit less coverage. This is not the sunscreen's fault. This side of my face is really dry right now, but this side is good. So if you see dry patches, this is not the foundation's fault. But in general, I like the lip tinted one better. This one is a bit more moisturizing, and I don't want that on top of my uh, moisturizer and sunscreen because I have enough moisture. And this one has a lot less coverage, but in general, I like it. If you can see, it gives you some coverage and makes you glow. Now I have my favorite BB cream slash tinted moisturizer of all time. And unfortunately, this is from the Asian market, and I'm hoping they won't stop shipping this to US. I would be very sad. This would be the MISSHA one. I was very skeptical about this one, and it took me a long time to decide to buy it. But as you can tell now, I have three shades: 21, 23, and 25. I 21 is my absolute winter shade. 23, I use it during like fall and around spring, like at the end of spring, that I have some color in my skin. 25, I only use it during summer, like the absolute summer, the absolute heat of the summer. I usually put this on with my brush. For this one, I really like the Sonia G1, the foundation brush, or my BK Beauty. I think this is the 101 brush. I like these two the most for my BB cream application. They look really good on top of my skin. I'm cleaning my hands. And let me show you number 21 and how it applies on my hand. You see that? It has a really good coverage, like a medium coverage, and it looks good all day. Okay, that one was my favorite one. There is another one that I really like. This is from MISSHA, Stain Repair Intensive BB Cream. I have shade 23 from this one. This is my summer shade, and as you can see, this is a bit thicker and it has more coverage. With this one, it's a bit orangey, so I have to use a color corrector. But I use this one as my foundations, and I use a sponge with this one because it gives me less coverage. I use a dry sponge with this one. This one is more matte, so I can use it on top of my moisturized and skin and my SPF during summer. The other one that I have that I really like is this BB cream by, it's called Moringa Ceramide, tinted moisturizer, makeup, and sunscreen, SPF 30. It's a BB cream by Heimish. This one I think has better shade range than the other two I showed you, MISSHA and the MISSHA. This is also my shade, like around spring. It's not quite good for like the heat of the summer because I get very dark and this looks ghostly. This is a really good one too. And I use this one as my foundation as well. It's thicker again and a bit more coverage than the MISSHA, but less coverage from the MISSHA. So it's something in between. Even the shade is something in between, and it works better for my skin tone. It's less like orangey, and their shade range is better too. So I would try this one if you have like darker skin tone. The last one is this one by Claire's. This is SPF 40. Look at this. It feels so good. The texture is really good. But even right now, it's a bit too light for me. Did you see it disappeared to nothing? Looks really good on the skin. It feels moisturizing. It feels like you have nothing on your skin. But again, you cannot use any of these sunscreens as your main sunscreen, because if you want to do that, you have to put on a lot of makeup. It will look really bad. This is Illuminating Supple Blemish Cream, SPF 40 PA++. So they advertise this as a blemish cream. I think it has enough coverage to cover like a very flat, non-active dark spots. In general, it's a very good sunscreen slash tinted moisturizer slash BB cream. All right, I think that's all. So if you like these kinds of videos, let me know. Let me know in the comment section. For my next video, I'm planning on doing my morning skincare makeup routine before I go to work, from when I wash my face to when I put on my makeup. What I do very light coverage, simple makeups, or I try to do that almost every day. Sometimes I get overboard, it gets out of my hands, and I look really bad, and I don't have the time to wash it off. Or at least I think I look bad in that makeup. But I usually I do very lightweight makeup. And from the comments I've got from people around me, they say that my makeup looks good, so I can show you that one in my next video. So if you're interested, just give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you for watching.